Well, it is another fantastic day here at Fun King Garage, and today I am back working on my 1955 Ford Fairlane. Okay, so once again, I need you to pretend like the footage that you're going to see in this episode hasn't yet happened. And for those of you who don't know, this car has already completed Hot Rod Power Tour 2024. The footage that you're going to see in this episode actually occurred before Power Tour, but there was so much coverage and there wasn't enough time to release it all. So sit back and relax and enjoy this footage of me fitting the brake kit and finalizing the axle housing. So I guess the next steps in this adventure is to mock up one of the brake assemblies. And the reason that I need to do that, I can't remember. So I guess the next step in this big adventure is to mock up one of the brakes. I don't have to do them both, I only have to do one side. And the reason that I need to mock that up is, one, so I'm familiar with it when it comes time to do it for real. And two, I have to figure out where on the axle the tab is going to go for the brake line, the hose that comes from the caliper. Now, those pieces I had to source myself. They did not come in the kit. I ended up using, I believe they were off of a Grand Am, and I'll have all of that information in the description just in case you're curious. The tabs came from Barnes four-wheel drive, which they don't have a lot of not four-wheel drive stuff, but they make really, really nice stuff. Back when I was still looking at leaf springs, I picked up some shock tabs. Those are 3/8 inch thick shock tabs. And the lower spring plates, or the lower U-bolt plates, also 3/8 thick, but they were for a 2-inch leaf spring. Really nice quality stuff. Not a sponsor, just nice quality, fast shipping, just overall good experience. So I did pick up some tabs as well, and I will figure out where those go and weld those on. That is the last of the welding on the housing, and that means it's time for paint. So all of this will come back apart and it will get painted. Still not sure what I'm going to do about that third member. I want to paint it, and yet I don't want to paint it, but I don't want it to rust, so I'm probably going to paint it. So I guess I'm going to continue to pick on the passenger side with all of this. Ooh. We don't need no stinking retainers. Okay, so we're back to a almost empty shell. Do I paint that third member? So, calipers go to the rear. The auto tensioners go to the bottom, which tells me that these go on like this. Obviously not with these bolts though. Now, this particular kit did also include T-bolts. Don't buy them separately. They're included in the kit if you do this brake kit. Again, the $110 shipping was shocking and a little uncalled for, but I guess technically they make up for it with everything that they include. And the fact that you could get the kit. Now, I am assuming that the bolts that are in there are nothing more than packaging just to hold it together during shipment, which they're actually pretty nice bolts. Yeah, you have the caliper bracket, which is the big thick part, and then you have the dust shield and emergency brake, which is the little thin part, and I think those bolts were only there to hold those two together. I got to put a nut on here just temporarily so that this doesn't fall, because I'm not actually going to slide the axle in at this point. So we're just going to do 2 bolts diagonally. Now, as I understand too, this brake kit will fit on multiple bearing housing sizes. However, it's got to be the Torino or one other one. It can't be the original small. Still have to figure out emergency brake cables. Probably a universal kit, or maybe I'll even order the ones for a 2000 Explorer and adapt those over. But in the meantime, it's very nice. It's very nice quality. It seems to be powder coated, not painted. Make sure we have the right caliper. The calipers, they came with brand new pads already. Brand new calipers, brand new pads. And the pads are separated by a piece of foam, which I'm going to leave in there for right now. Not tightening anything down, I'm just securing it so it doesn't fall to the floor. Okay, so at this point I have a brake assembly and a caliper on here. So this is the part number I'm using just in case this does work out, and again I'll link all of this stuff. Ray Bestis brand. They sent me one retail box and one white box, but whatever. I bought them from Amazon. They were cheap, like $8. They did come with the copper washers for the banjos, but like I said, the brakes already have the banjo bolt, which a lot of the reading I did, people said that you have to go hunt those down. I'm going to take these copper washers off for right now and just drop them in the bag, but it came with the copper washers and the banjo bolt. Just trying to make sure that that flange is thick enough, which it absolutely is, because it would have the two copper washers in there. Do I go to the front? Do I go to the back? I don't really want this aiming down. I think it's going right there. So we're coming out of here. I don't really want it pointing down because I don't want it to snag on anything. So if I just loop it like this, up and over, and then this guy's got two little nubbies inside that I do have to file out the tabs. The tabs that came from Barnes are just a round hole. So I'm going to have to file those and then find a clip. I think that's where they're going. Just inside of this main bracket here, and then right on the back of the housing. I think that is the award-winning ticket. I'll get that filed and cleaned up. We'll get ready to weld that into place. Hi, bud. Are you gonna order pizza? Do you want me to order pizza? If I was going to, or that I should, like.
One of the above.
Oh, you think I should order pizza?
Yes.
It's gonna be that crappy Papa John's pizza. Not a sponsor. All right, I'll order pizza. All these power tools, and I'm filing by hand. Yeah, I'm kind of sorry I didn't order more of these. They were only like 80 cents. It's like 79 1/28. 5/8. Lock that in at 5/8. Nope, that's a perfect size. So that tells me that I can get away with filing out both of those nubs, and this will lock in exactly as it's supposed to. So I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me file this for 3 days. So I'm going to get it done, and we'll be back. Alright, so everything's sat overnight to dry. It's been about 22 hours or so since I pulled all of this in. I love this cast spray paint. It doesn't look exactly like real cast, but and nobody's gonna ever look under the car and see this, but what I think is pretty cool. Now, my spray painting skills leave a lot to be desired, so there is some hazy spots on here. There's spots that are shinier than they're supposed to, being that's a semi-gloss paint, but overall, I think it looks just fine. I can't tell if that's hazy or if it's thin. I don't think I got enough paint up underneath there. And even though I'm not supposed to, I'm going to apply some more. The reason I'm not supposed to is because you're supposed to do it within 2 hours, but that's going to delay putting that together a little bit, but that's the trouble with something when you can't rotate it while you're painting it. You might think you got it all, but you didn't. I don't know where I can pick this up that I didn't get spray paint on it. I'd rather it take too long to get all of this done, have to delay a little bit longer to put it together, than to have it only half painted proper. Alright, while I'm waiting for the paint to dry on that rear end housing, I'm going to put the bushings back in the link bars. This is a set of bushings that I ordered from Speedway because the ones that were in here were complete garbage. And then I found out the ones that were in these ends were actually rubber instead of urethane, so I changed those out as well because it was a set of 8. Now, if you have a press, maybe you don't have a press, maybe you got an arbor press, whatever. Pushing these in, I find that one of these I-beam clamps does a really brilliant job without having to go to the press, and the press is a little bit slow. And that presses it in real nice. So I'm going to get the rest of these installed, get these bars put back together, and get some Zerk fittings put in them. They didn't have the provision for Zerk. I drilled those and tapped them myself. Well, you can see where I drilled for the Zerk fitting. There's a little gap in between the two pieces of urethane. So now when I put that fitting in there, pump it full of grease, it'll fill all those grease passages. Here's how I did these ends, because all of these are, nope, that's not true. 2 of these are accessible from the end. The other 2 are only accessible from this angle here. So bottoms, tops. These are Lumax. Sounds like a Chinese brand, but they're actually USA. No, it's Lumax USA, but here's the catch. Made in China. Alright, there's those 4 bars. Now we'll get the ends put on them. Get measured out. Now listen, I'm going to use some of this. And I'm sorry when you find it all over your house too, because this stuff goes everywhere. A little dab will do ya. If you don't know, I'm really serious. You got to use this stuff very sparingly, because it will get everywhere. You will find it on everything you own. Just thinking about it. Right now, you probably have some on you and you didn't even realize. Alright, now these guys being offset, as you adjust it, they're going to turn out to be up or down, and that doesn't really matter. The main thing is that they were out of the way and they weren't going to run into anything. And they don't stick down. These are the upper bars. They don't stick down where they're going to snag on anything, because that'd be bad. Really should have ordered those shocks today. I don't know why I'm hesitating. I guess it's just because I wanted air ride so bad, and I just don't think it's going to work. If I can get that rear end up underneath there and get it mocked up one more time, just take one more good measurement, that maybe, just maybe they'll fit. But they're 5 inches in diameter, which is the problem. The QA1 shocks are only 3.5 inches in diameter. So I still have to get exhaust through there. I need the room. Alright, link bars are done. The housing should be pretty close to dry. I'm going to paint the axle flanges, being that they're raw steel and I don't want them to rust, so I'm going to paint those up next. And then as soon as all of that is dry, well, in fact, as soon as the housing's dry, we're going to start bolting the brakes on. So there I was, just cruising along, trying to pull these studs in, but man, are they tight. In fact, that one I cranked down with a C-clamp, and it didn't even draw in at all. So I got some more fine thread nuts coming tomorrow, so I should be able to draw all those in, because pretty much as soon as you use the nut, it's destroyed and you got to start over. But in the meantime, I suppose just sitting around on my fingers, I'm going to start getting the brakes installed and set up, and then I can start to figure out what I'm going to do for brake line. So, caliper to the back. Alright, I gotta look around, see if I can find that lock washer. Oh. I couldn't find it because it was stuck on the end of this one. That's ridiculous. I was pretty sure I had put them all back in the bag. Tell me that is not a sweet, sweet disc brake system. there are the brakes. I'm only doing this to mock the brake lines. No, to mock up the brake lines. And I have brake line clips coming, but in the meantime I'm going to use these Chevrolet Mickey Mouse style ones that were from the emergency brake line on the Corvette. At least I think I am. I might not be. Whew, that's a tight fit. Again, no copper washers under the banjo bolts as of yet, not until it's official. That caliper added some weight to the back of that. It's wanting to roll backwards. Of course, if I had a center section in here, I'd be having the exact opposite problem. Yeah, I was trying to keep all the metric stuff off of this car, but that's what happens when you upgrade to a something late model. Alright, so now we'll take this line out of this bag and take this banjo off. Hopefully it all goes well, otherwise I will be filing on this thing. That is a beautiful fit. That is a beautiful fit. Easy there, big boy. Oh, I can't get that on there. That hurts the old digits. I might have to wait. I can't get that in. That's alright. That kind of gives me a feel for what's going on. So now the next thing that I have to do is change the battery in the camera because it's about to go dead. I gotta make a bracket, probably either off of this stud or off of this stud, that's going to mount the hose that comes in from the frame down that the brake lines run off of. So I'm gonna get some stuff together and I'll work on that next. As usual, I'm waiting on some parts to get here. In the meantime, I've been working on a template for the brake line bracket, but I really can't go any further until the brake line arrives, which will be coming from Amazon. Once that hose is here, I can finish up this bracket mock-up. I can make the bracket, and then I can start building the brake lines to go from the soft lines to that T. But not today. Unfortunately, this has to be the end of today's episode because there's still enough footage that if I tried to pack it all into this episode, it would be way, way too long. In fact, looking over the footage, I don't think one more is going to handle it. I think it's going to take at least 2 more episodes to finally bring the rear end project to a close. But I don't want to cut out any of the details or the fun stuff, so it'll be worth 2 more episodes. Now there's other content coming out related to the Ford Fairlane. I also have more coverage coming on the Fummins, and secretly in the background I've been working on that 1972 Chevy C20, the orange one that I've teased a little bit. So if you're interested in any of that, or any of the other stuff I do here on the channel, you know what you gotta do. That's right, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications, and a thumbs up is always appreciated as well. Now from my side, I appreciate each and every one of you. You're awesome. I gotta get back to it, get more content made. So until next time, thanks for watching.